Artistic Gamer 7, and welcome back to another speed build here on the channel. This time we have a community lot going up today. It is actually Nightclub. I am making this in Windenburg. Obviously, if you want to download this, you don't have to put it in the exact lot that I put it in, or even in Windenburg. That's just where I chose to build mine. I actually built this nightclub right in the place of the old nightclub that was in Windenburg. So I always forget to write down what the lot sizes are. I actually have like a little notebook and everything that's for my builds and stuff, so that I can write down like the lot's information, like the size and where I put it at and things like that, so that when I go to do these builds, these voiceovers, that I can actually mention it for you all if y'all wanted to actually try to put it in the same place, or at least wanted to know the size before you went to potentially go look at downloading it for yourself, because it is going to be up on the gallery if you'd like to download it, just like all of my other builds. So I do try to keep that in mind. Like, not everyone is going to want to put it in the same place, and sometimes you don't want to go off looking if you could have known in the first place that you wouldn't been able to actually use the lot. But yeah, I apologize that I forget to look at that. But it's definitely something like 30 by 20 or 40 by 30, somewhere it's one of those two. I am pretty sure it is one of those two. And it is that space that's in Windenburg with the nightclubs, because I think it was nightclubs that when it was get together that the nightclubs became a thing. Yeah, nightclubs wasn't a thing till Get Together, right? Get Together was like the first expansion to come out, I think, and I've had nightclubs for so long that I know it was either a base game thing or it was a get-together thing, and I'm not really sure which one anymore, actually. It's not something that retained into my brain, but anyway, yeah, so we are building a nightclub, and right now I am placing a whole lot of little sprinklers. That's the reason why I like, I put the little pool thing around the side anyway, and I originally had thoughts and plans to maybe put a basement level so that you can actually see the pool water through the basement level. I didn't end up doing that because then it would have got really big, and honestly, the thing with community lots, and the thing with me in general, so two statements here. The thing with community lots, there's not much point to actually make them too big, unless it's something like a museum or something along those lines, or you have like a lot of outside space and inside space. But if it's just going to be mainly an indoor event, there's not a whole lot to put around there, because you can't personalize it as much. But also, I have a really bad habit of I used to, sometimes I still do, of making lots bigger than they really need to be, and then having to struggle to figure out what to put in that space. But luckily, for the most part, I've gotten better at that. I've gotten to the point where I don't constantly make the builds too big or make them ridiculous or anything. So yeah, luckily I'm learning from that that process of building. And if you're wondering what I was doing with the roofs, I remember there's a way to get like a section of the roof to be like almost like a skylight type thing, where you have the glass windows but not like the whole actual rectangle, I'm pretty sure. And I have forgotten, and I didn't bother to try to go look it up. I will definitely try to look it up before I ever try to do it again. But with this build, I remember I was feeling the building sort of mojo going on, and I was just wanting to actually just stay in build mode. I didn't really want to go off and look into YouTube to try to figure out do things, so I just put a normal roof on it, and that was only something I was like sort of thinking about anyway. It wasn't something I was 100% sure I was going to keep for this build anyway, so the fact that I wasn't even sure if I was going to keep it even after I figured out how to do it, I just said, nah, it's not going to be worth it. Let me just go ahead and just finish on the rest of the build. And I also realized that there's a section, it's pretty sure it's already passed at this point. Sometimes my voiceovers get a little messed up compared to the recording of the video, because as I'm recording the voiceover, I'm watching it play, and I realize that there's a section of the video that I should have cut out, or there's a section of the video that somehow I didn't speed up along with the rest of it. But yeah, so sometimes once I go to add the voiceover, it doesn't 100% always line up. But at this point, you should be seeing me do a lot of the outside stuff, and the window should be done and all the things. I lost part of the footage or something where I started doing the wallpaper on the outside and some of that stuff, because I went to edit it and it went from the roof to, and with none of the wallpaper or foundation or anything done, to all of a sudden the foundation and wallpaper there. So I don't know if my recording system stopped or if I stopped the recording because I thought I was going to be gone for a while. I just built this not too long ago, but at the same time I built so many things recently actually because I just got into a huge building mode. And sometimes when I know there's a chance that I'll take a long break, I'll go ahead and stop the recording. Sometimes I don't plan on taking a long break. I just go to use the bathroom and then something happens. But yeah, I don't know what happened in that case, but I did lose, it wasn't like a huge portion, and like I said, it was like only the wallpaper and stuff, so I wasn't too concerned. I probably would have cut some of that out anyway. I normally don't cut the outside wallpaper off of the build, but it's not that big of a loss, so yeah, that's why it changed all of a sudden, and I don't actually know what happened to it. But, to talk about the name of the build, which I should probably do more often towards the beginning, but I tend to forget a lot, is the name of the build, I'm calling it Raindance, because the fact it's a nightclub is why it's called Dance, but I was giving it sort of a blue theme along with a water theme, so that's why it is called Raindance. I just decided to try to give it a name, so if you want to download this build, it will be up on the gallery, and it is called Raindance. My origin ID is ArtisticGamer7. If you ever forget that, it will be in the description of any of the speed build videos I do. The only thing that will change will be the name of the speed build video. So if it is this one, it will say Raindance down underneath my origin ID, but if it's another one, it might say something else. So, but yeah, if you ever forget the name of a build or you forget my origin ID or something like that, it is down there in the description below. It is also, I mentioned it on my Twitter. You can follow me over on Twitter and also ask me stuff. So if you can't find a build, sometimes I forget to upload them the day the video goes out, because a lot of times I schedule my videos. Usually, sometimes it doesn't go past 3 days in advance, but I am trying to get to a point where I'm like 4 days in advance, just because sometimes things happen and I know how I've been in the past. And, you know, life happens and things like that, and I would rather try to have a video up to some degree that is ready to go. So I try to schedule videos a little bit further in advance. So I sometimes forget which day the build comes out to make sure that I've posted up on my gallery. I should probably get into a habit of posting it like a day or 2 or 3 before the video comes out so that it's for surely up there, or like starting to think about that. But yeah, I need to get into that habit. I'm trying to get a schedule actually going on my channel, and by the time this video goes out, hopefully that schedule is being stuck to. If that is the case, if I am actually sticking to this schedule, the video out should be out on a Wednesday or a Saturday, so that is when my build videos are being planned to come out, is one of those 2 days, if not both. I'll explain that in a vlog. If the vlog may be out by the time this video comes out, so just keep an eye out maybe for that if you want to sort of know more details about the scheduling for videos. But otherwise, let's just continue on talking about this build. We should be getting to the inside here now, which is mostly open. I was trying to decide on like a few different things. I was trying a few different things on the inside, trying to figure out where I wanted to put the bathrooms, where I was going to put the dance floor area and all that stuff. Eventually I decided I wanted to do sort of like a little pit thing with the dance before, which I have done at least one of my other nightclubs, the one that's in Oasis Springs, which I'm forgetting what I called it. What did I call it? I don't remember actually. But, I did do sort of a pit-like theme, but it was more of, it was a bigger size than this one was, and the bar was upstairs. That was a 2-level nightclub. This is a 1-level nightclub, so this one's a little bit smaller, and technically, if you do play with clubs, which I do to a certain extent, but not a whole lot, the club that was here, which I forget who they even were. Obviously, if you really wanted to, you can add a basement easily to this section, to this and make their, because that's where their little club meetout was in the location that I replaced with this. So if you wanted to do that, you could, but I don't use clubs that often, and particularly that club. The clubs I do use is the ones that I make up myself, so I didn't really think about that when doing this, so they don't have a meeting spot anymore in my world, but I'm not really too concerned. But yeah, with this build in general, I didn't have a whole lot of plans. A lot of times with my community lots, I have less plans for them than my house builds. One, the house builds, you know, you have Sims, you can sort of make up actually make Sims, or you can just sort of make random personalities in your head, or think of what you would think for Sims or whatever, or pick a family in real life or something like that to give like personality to the house. And actually, like, you know, the individual rooms have a little bit of personality because different people, like different bedrooms, like if you have kids, well, that kid's personality is active and sporty, while that kid's personality is gamey and geeky. So whatever you want to go with, or, you know, there's mixtures. I'm sure if someone looked in my room, they'd be really confused on what my personality was. It is definitely gamer mixed with freaking anime nerd, collector, hobby person, artist. And then the fact that I have so many shoes leading up to my room, and the type of shoes that I have, you'd be like, oh, this is gonna be a very girly person. Oh, wait, this is not a girly room, what? So yeah, but yeah, there's, the Sims help you sort of give a personality and life to a house, versus a community lot. You can't go technically for a specific different personality types and have that added into the equation, because there's no particular person who's actually staying here for days on end. There's not someone living here, nothing like that. So, which you could still give community lots personality, obviously. I'm not saying that community lots don't have it. It's just not as big of a thing as a house build. And it's not something that you could fully play with like a house build. So I definitely, like, with community lots, I don't always go in with 100% plan, or I only have a very general plan. So like this one, it was the Raindance was the name. It was a place to go hang out and dance and have fun that had this blue water theme sort of going on to it. So that was literally the only thing I was going with, and I was just going with the flow and building, just sort of enjoying building, actually. I wasn't too concerned about, you know, trying to make sure that a certain, like, oh yeah, I need to have this so many things. Yeah, I kept to the nightclub rules, but other than that, I was like, oh yeah, the nightclub says I have to have a bar. But, you know, you don't have to have some other things, but I was just sort of going with it. The pool technically isn't meant to be like a swimming pool. It's meant to be a decoration thing. Now, I will bet Sims will try to go swim in it. So, if you do download this and put this in your world, expect Sims to potentially try to go swim in it, or at least sit on the side to have the conversations, because sometimes Sims really like to do that. They may not even be in their swimwear. It may not even be like a swim party thing. They may have no intention on going swimming. But if they're talking to another Sim, or a group of Sims, there's a pool within the radius, within a certain radius, they're like, oh, let's go sit and talk at the pool. Not the bench that's literally right next to me. Let me go sit on the edge of the pool and turn into my bathing suit just to have a conversation. So yeah, I will say that's probably going to be the one thing that is going to be annoying about this lot. I haven't actually played this lot yet. I have put it down in my main world. I just have not actually had my Sims go to the lot yet. Because right now, I'm having to make sure that the freaking sharing is caring thing has fully cleared out of my game. I have had to make sure, I have double-checked neighborhoods several times to make sure that there is no neighborhood that has the sharing is caring NAP installed, or like voted on. I've had to turn off free voting, which is sort of annoying because I liked the idea of my Sims that I wasn't playing still voting. And, like, it was, like, a big community thing, but I can't have that on because there's a chance that sharing is caring will pop up unless I purposely went and made sure all the NIPs were full, which I guess I could do that, but then there's no point of voting anymore because it's full. So, yeah, it's slightly slightly annoying, but I have to do it that way. So I've been avoiding community lots because I was sort of just playing on my own. I was actually doing things to get ready for the United wedding, which, if you don't know what that is, it is Evie and Drayon's wedding from my Forgotten and Evie series, which is something I'm going to record, but I'm going through everyone's, all their siblings to make sure outfits are updated and things are updated, and, you know, playing a little bit off screen with them to get them sort of caught up with how far I have Evie and Drayon, because I got a little sidetracked playing them, so, and I went, like, visiting places when I was with Glaceon, and people were just grabbing things at the community lots. Like, the nightclubs, the first thing they went for was the DJ booths. That is one of the big reasons why you go to the nightclub, and now it's gone. So, it's quite annoying. So right now I'm just playing, and I'm not leaving the house that I'm in for, like, a while, because I want to make sure that it's fully kicked in, and I'm going to slowly start visiting lots. So yeah, I haven't played tested this one. I don't see anywhere that would be any particular issues, but just know that it hasn't been play tested if you do download it. And I do actually, there's a little area that has, like, that small dance floor over there. I made the small dance floor there just to be as, like, a rug and a visual thing, but I do change it because you're supposed to have, there was something I didn't have for the bar. It was something to do with seating. So I changed that. And the little photo things that I put over the bathroom, my idea for those was to actually sort of do try to give this community lot a little bit of personal space without getting too personal, but it would, basically, if you download this, you could sort of go with your own theme, but my mindset was that either it could be, like, if they have local events or, like, special events happening at the nightclub, if someone won something or did something amazing, maybe that's a wall that has photos of those people, or maybe it's the people that work there at the bar and it's their photos, or the DJs that they've had throughout the years, and so on and so forth. But basically, if you do download this, you can decide for yourself what those photos would be for and what the theme of them is for. But yeah, we should be getting close to the end of the video here. I feel like I didn't talk about the build so much, but basically with this build, it really was just me just sort of freely playing around and just enjoying being in build and buy mode and just having a very loosely fitted theme and just going with it. I do still like how it turned out. I like the blue with the black looks and things like that, and I think it really pops out with all that, and I think it looks more like a chill nightclub, which is perfectly fine with me, because I don't think I've been to necessarily an actual nightclub. Everything I've been to has been to a bar with some nightclub elements to it, like a dance floor and stuff like that. But I like more the chill vibe than you have to constantly be up and dancing and in a mosh pit of people or something like that. So I really like how it turned out, and I hope you did too as well. Let me know down in the comments what was your favorite part about the build and things like that, and would you be interested in looking forward to actually playing in this build yourself. I will have a link in the description below for my social medias and the Sims 4 build playlist, as well as a few other Sims related playlists if you want to go check those out as well. And again, if you ever have any questions for me, go follow me over on Twitter and feel free to ask. Thank you so much for watching. Hit the lovely like button, subscribe, all that lovely YouTube goodiness, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.